So here we can check it out. Already we have an array index out of bound exception. When we write like this array index out of bound exception, it clearly says that it's a bad code. Why? Because we exactly know that we are going to get array index out of bound exception. Then again, if you're writing catch block, it clearly says that you don't know the coding. So to avoid that, we are going see whatever any error you may generate. Okay, for that to handle that, we can make use of either exception or throwable. For your purpose, for your knowledge purpose, I'm going to use exception. That's it, and save the code. Now run the code. Okay, here you can check it out. Here we are going to get array index out of bound exception when I write a generic class, where exception is in generic class when I come from specific to generic. Okay, now this is the flow. Now till now we have seen that using the catch block we had thrown a exceptions. Now we are going to generate a exceptions with the throw keyword. Okay. Yes, do anyone have an idea what do you mean by throw keyword? Throw. See, with throw keyword is used to explicitly to throw an exception. Here what we are using, once it find out an error, it will catch whether that exception is going to match with this particular class or not. Once it is matching, it will enter into the catch block and it is throwing your error. So what we are doing now, rather than this system.out.println here, we are only creating one object and we are passing in parameter what you have to print it to in the console. Okay, when we are using a throw keyword, we are going to explicitly throw an exception from a method. Okay, where throw is going to make use of our custom flow, where we are going to make use of our custom flow. That's it. So here you can check it out. When we get it an exception here, rather than this, here I can say that throw new, the syntax I'm showing here, throw keyword new, and I'm going to create an object array index out of bounds exception. Array index outer bound exception, where I have generated an object for array index outer bound exceptions. For every class we have a constructor. For that constructor we have to pass a parameter which is of type string parameter. Okay, make sure that for every class in the throwable we have a constructor. Through that for that constructor we have a parameter. What type of parameter it is? It is of string data type. We are going to say that it is of string data type. No block for accessing. Okay, no block for accessing. Save the code and run the code. That's it. See, here you can check it out. We have got an error, but whatever the string I have passed here, it is showing that particular error. Same error it will show. Whatever the data you have passed here, the same data will be showing on the console. This is how using of your throw keyword we can send a message to display on the screen. Okay. See, whenever we are using throw keyword, we are going to make use of our explicitly class. Explicitly, for which class we have to pass a message, for that we are going to class. Okay, like example, if I pass here exception, throw new exception, save the code. Okay, now we are not going to get this. We have to come up with the specific classes where exception is a general class. So for that we are not going to get that. We can show with the other keyword. Okay, using throw keyword we can generate an exception. For that class, we are going to pass a string. Whatever the message we are passing, it will be displayed on the screen. Earlier, what it was there, first I'll just comment and I'll show what we were printing on the system dot out dot print ln e dot get message and save the code. E dot get message. Earlier I have used e dot stack trace, trace stack prints. Now I am going to make use of get message. Now I'll run the code. See, here we got it, index 3 out of bounds for length 2. It is just showing this message. And 4th sem students are very good. That's it. So it shows the message, that's it. It won't show any warning. So to avoid that, what I have to do, e dot stack trace prints. Print stack trace. So give me 1 minute. Print okay, system dot out dot print ln e dot print stack trace, and I'll give semicolon here. That's it. And save the code, run the code. Give me 1 minute, or else what I'll do, I'll remove this and e dot print stack trace. I'll save the code and I'll run them. See, it is showing an error here. Rather than getting an error, we can just print a message. It will just print a message rather than the showing like this an error. So what I'll do, e dot get message, e dot get message, give semicolon. That's it. Save the code. System dot out dot println, save the code and run the code. Now you can check it out here. It is just showing an error here. It is not showing, sorry, it is just showing a message rather than an error. This is the word use of your throw keyword. Okay, now again I'll show with the throw keyword. Just I'll save it and I'll print once again. Now you can check it out, the differences between the throw keyword, print stack trace, and your, whenever I'm using throw new, okay, here you won't get control X. Save the code and print. Here you can check it out. First is just it is showing an error with your print stack trace. Next, it is showing and just a message. It is just showing a message here. Next, you can see just along with the error, it is showing that what type of message we have passed in the parameter for your constructor, array index out of bounds exception constructor. That message is going to be get passed. Okay. Hope everyone have understood what is the difference between e dot print stack trace, get message, and throw keyword. Have you understood? And make sure that throw is used to just throw a message, error message. But make sure that for that we have to create a object using of your new and with a specific class, specific exceptional class, whichever class you want to put it, and you can put it, and you have to pass a parameter for that. Okay, this is about your throw. Whereas coming to the throws, whereas coming to your throws keyword, where throws keyword is used only for the methods. Okay, where I have a keyword called throws, where this throws keyword is used only to that particular method declaration. Okay, here we are going to write a throws keyword. throws is an parallelly, so we can write n number of classes what you are going to get an exception here. Okay. See here, I'll show here. Rather than here, earlier we have written an array index out of bound exception. Now I'll write it exception. Now you are going to get an error here. Okay, what it is going to show here? It shows that add throws declaration. Add throws declaration in the sense you have to write a throws keyword here for the method declaration, and then you have to specify with what type of exception you may generate or you may get. Okay, here you can check it out. Here I have got an add throws declaration. You can check it out. Here I have throws exception. Here I have throws exception. Okay, like this you have to declare. Then only you are going to get an error. Then only you can get an normal termination. And make sure that whenever you are going to make use of throws, must and should for that particular method, you should have a catch block. If you don't have a catch block, you are going to get an error. Control X, Control save. You're going to get an error. Here you check it out. See, there you have an error. Okay, so we have to write a catch block, must and should. After the try block, must and should, you have to write a catch block. Okay, if you don't want to write a catch block, there is another way what you have to write it. I'll show it later. Okay, 1 minute. Make sure that when you have an throws keyword, must and should, you have to specify this throws keyword with the method signature. Must and should, you have to specify this throws with the method signature only. But most of the times we are going to make use of with the try catch block. But sometimes there will be an classes, like when I write here throwable, rather than here, if I write throwable. See, now I've got an error. So what I should do, again, I have to make use of throws declaration. Along with this exception, here you can check it out, throws exception. Along with this throws exception, I may add throwable class. Okay, along with the exception, I'll write exception. Along with that, I'm going to write a throwable. At this throws, you can write n number of classes. N number of classes. Along with an exception, what I can write it? Arithmetic exception. You may write like this. So you can write n number of exceptions, exception classes, how many you require. But make sure that once you declared a throws class here, you should have a try catch block in that particular method. Okay, now I'll show one difference for that. I'll show the differences between the throw and throws keyword. Whether can you see a PDF? Can you see the PDF here? The differences between throw and throws keyword. students?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See here you can check it out. The differences between throw and throws keyword. Where throw keyword is used to explicitly throw an exception. Okay, explicitly when you want to throw an exception of that particular class, then we are going to make use of throw keyword. But whereas here, we are going to just declare a throws. Like we may generate, we may not generate that type of exception. But just we are going to declare a exception at the level of method signature. When you are going to declare a method, there we are going to use of throws keyword. When we are using throws keyword, we will have a dot. We may generate, we may not generate. So we are going to declare there. Now throw. Checked exceptions cannot be propagated on using throw only. Okay. We haven't checked exceptions. I have explained what you mean by checked exceptions. Under the checked exceptions, what are the different types of exceptions we have. Okay. And next, under this checked exceptions, we can propagate it with throws. Throw is followed by an instance. As I have said that it is followed by an instance in the sense where we are going to create an object for that particular class using a keyword called new. Throw, new, and then we are going to write a class name. When we have written a new along with the class name, there we are going to create an instance for that class. So we are going to write an instance for your throw. Whereas coming to here, throws is mainly followed by the class or methods. Okay, which we are going to be followed by the classes. We are not going to write any class names. We are not going to create any instances for that class. Just we are going to declare a class for your throws. Here, where throws is used within the method. Within the method in the sense where we are going to write within the catch block, where we have used try and catch block or used within the method or constructor or initializers. So we are going to make use of throw keyword within the method only. Whereas coming to the throws, we are going to use with the method signature. At the level of signature, where we are going to make use of throws. Okay. Here, whereas coming to here, we cannot throw multiple exceptions. Okay, we cannot throw multiple exceptions like throw new, array index after bounds exception, arithmetic exception, null pointer exception. We cannot throw like this in the single line. Whereas coming to the throws, we can write n number of classes names within that, with the method declaration. Here you can check it out. Public void m1 throws input output exception, SQL exception, and etc. We can write n number of exceptions like this, as I have showed in the Eclipse. I'll show it once again that. Okay, you can check it out here. With the throws keyword, I can write n number of exceptions here. Like that. Hope everyone have understood the difference between throw keyword and throws keyword. Hope everyone have understood difference between throw keyword and throws keyword. Okay. Now, next, we have another one block with the try catch. That block is called finally. Okay. That block is called for finally. Okay. What we are going to do with this finally in the sense, if try block executes successfully without an exception, must and should this finally block should execute. Finally block should execute must and should. Next, if I this try block find out some exception, then it will come to this particular catch block. If the catch block executes successfully, then must and should finally should be used. I mean, it should be executed. Okay. Can anyone say for what reason we are going to make use of finally keyword? Why we are going to use an finally keyword in the sense, finally block is used to execute some of the important code blocks. Okay, some of the important code blocks. Suppose example, when you want to read a data from the file and then after execution of your code, you have to close the file. So what you have to do, opening can be done at any time, but closing should be done only with the finally. Why? Because after executing try successfully, finally will execute. If the try doesn't execute successfully, actually, I mean, catch will execute. Once the catch is executed, finally will execute. So make sure that when you don't have sorry, when you're not executing either try or catch, also must and should, your finally will execute. So when we want to write something important code at the end of your execution, then we can write it in the finally block. So what I'm going to write it here, just you can check it out, system.out.println, my students are very good. My students are very good. Save the code. So even if I get an exception here, finally block will execute. Check it out here. Oh, it's a compiler. See, my students are very good. We got it. Okay, I'll change this blocks, everything, and I'll save the code. Now I'll shuffle. See, my students are very good. Even though if your try block executes successfully here, even though if your try block executes successfully, your finally block will execute. See, accessing of element 3, 0. My students are very good. It will execute. But make sure that when you don't want to write a catch block for some purpose, then must and should you have to write below the try block, you have to write finally block. Must and should. Even though if you don't have a catch block and finally block, you cannot write only try block. Okay, make sure that when you return a try block, must and should, under this try block you should have a catch block or finally block. If you have a try block, you can write a catch block where finally is your optional. There is no any compulsory that you have to write finally block after your catch block. It is an optional, but make sure that if you have written only try block, either of the one should be written below the try block, either catch block or finally block. Make sure that. So now you can check it out. If I remove this catch block and finally, now you can check it out, you'll get an error here. Syntax error, insert either finally to complete your block statements. You're going to get an error, this type of error. So what should you do? Either you should add a catch block here, or you should write a finally block here below the try catch. Hope everyone have understood this try catch block, and for finally block also, for what purpose we are going to make use of it, this finally block. Students, is it clear for everyone? Do anyone have a doubts here? Do anyone have a doubts? Fine. Now I'm going to show for you how to generate your own exceptions, custom exceptions. Okay, now I'm going to show for you people how to generate a custom exceptions, like your own exceptions you can generate. Rather than what we have in this classification box, you can generate your own exceptions. Like you can write student name is not correct. You can write invalid age. You can write whatever you want to generate an exceptions. You can generate that type of exceptions. So now what I'm going to do, I'll be explaining for you one example with your custom exceptions. I'll create one class which is of invalid age. Invalid age. Okay. Make sure that whenever we want to generate an custom exception, the class which you are going to create, for that class, we should extend throwable or exception or throwable must and should we have to generate. Why? Because we should have a link or relationship between of the local class along with the predefined classes. Then easily we can extend or we can extract the exception. Okay, public class invalid age. This is your local class where this is the exception which is predefined one. Now using of an extends keyword, I have created a relationship. Okay, now what I'm going to do here, have clearly explained that whenever you're going to make use of this class, we have a constructor. We have a constructor. One is a default constructor, another one is parameterized constructor, which is of parameterized constructor. So what should I do? Now I need to generate a constructor. So invalid age of string yes. Now I have generated one constructor. So when I'm calling an exception, if I call an invalid age will call an exception will call an throwable class. Okay, now what I'll do here using super of yes, I'm going to generate an exception. Okay, here you may pass in statements like example, you are not eligible to vote. You are not eligible to vote. I'm going to pass a message here where the super S will pass a message to the exception. Exception will pass a message to the throwable. Throwable will print a message stating that you are not eligible for the voting. Okay. This is the one class where I have written. Save this code. Now I'm going to create another one class which is of test custom exception. Test custom exception. Okay. Now I'll create one method and I'll save the code. That's it. Under this, I'm going to create one method to extract the or to validate the age. Okay, what I'm going to create one method which is of static void validate. Okay, for this I'm going to pass one method which is one parameter which is of called age. Okay, now it's done. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to do the throws. Okay, or else what I'll do first, if age is less than 18, throw new invalid age of what you're going to say, you're not eligible to vote and give semicolon. That's it. Else what I'm going to do, system.out.println welcome to vote and I'll give semicolon. That's it. Save the code. Now you can check it out. There I have an error here. What it is saying, it is an add throws declaration. It shows that add throws declaration. Now it is throws invalid age. It is automatically, it is going to invalid. It is going to call your invalid age. Now this is done this particular class. So now what I'm going to do here try, in this try block I'm going to call a method validate of 10 and I'll give semicolon. That's it. Okay, once it is done, now I'm going to write it in the catch block. Catch exception E. Okay, you can write in the place of E anything, but I have written E. What I'm going to write, system.out.println exception occurred. Exception occurred. It is done. Save the code. Save the code. That's it. So what it is going to be done, your program starts executing here. Now it will comes to your try block. It will call validate of 10. So now it will jump to the validated of 10. If 10 is less than 18, it is asking throw new invalid age, you are not eligible. So what it happens, we are going to create an instance of invalid age. For that constructor, we are passing a parameter. So what it will happen, it will go to the invalid age. Here, it will call to the you are not eligible to vote. It will be presented in the parameter. Now this super of S, it will call the exception constructor. In the exception constructor, where we are going to have super S, that super S will call the throwable class. In the throwable class, we are going to print the statement that you are not eligible to vote. Okay, once it is printed, it will not come to your else part, it will come to your catch block and it will execute. Now save the code and run the code. Exception occurred. You have to get it invalid age, what it went, where it went. We correct validate of 10. That's correct. We have to get an exception. We got this. One minute. Save the code, run the code. No, we have to get and validate of you're not eligible to vote. Somewhere I missed a code to change or what. Okay. Jump to this invalid age. That's correct. One minute, students. Somewhere I might have done mistake. Give me 1 minute. Exception occurred plus E. Save the code. No. Okay. So here we can check it out. We got an error. We save the code. See, once it has not got it less than 18, invalidate. Here it will come to the catch block. Here you can check it out. Plus E. Whatever the exception it is cached here, it will come and it will print on your catch block. So I'll save the code. Here you can check it out. Exception occurred. Invalid age. You are not eligible to vote. This is your custom exception where you have generated this exception. Like this, we can generate a number of exceptions. Is it clear how to generate a custom exception, students? Yes, is it clear for everyone? Yes, everyone have understood the concepts. Students, I'm asking for you people. Everyone have understood the concept how to generate a custom exception? Rakshita?
Yes, sir.